Penn Badgley's hatred of Joe is actually what started to change the course of the way the show was being depicted. The showrunner of You has stated repeatedly that she wanted people to fall in love with Joe. That was an aim for the show. That was why they made the changes that they made, to make him a more likable person. Penn Badgley was never a fan of that direction. Penn Badgley hates Joe. If Joe has no haters, Penn Badgley is dead. And as the show went on, because it was such a success, largely thanks to Penn Badgley was able to gain more creative control. And after seeing the way women had been reacting to Joe in the first and second seasons, Penn Badgley was very frustrated in the ways that Joe was being romanticized. And so he influenced the showrunners and the writers into leaning more into book Joe, because that's who Penn Badgley wanted to show to the audience. It's why there's such a tonal difference between seasons 1, 2, and 3 and seasons 4 and 5. Seasons 4 and 5 is where Penn Badgley really got the most creative control, which is why we see Joe going just full on homicidal and accepting that that's who he is and embracing it. Because the 5th season really says, oh, Joe enjoys killing. That's what he enjoys doing. Whereas the 1st and 2nd season made it very clear that he does not enjoy doing that he feels regret. He always feels that it's justified, but he doesn't actually enjoy doing it. Whereas in the books, he very much does. He does not feel remorse or regret. He actually talks about how much he enjoyed seeing the light leave Candace's eyes. Because yeah, in the books, he killed her, not love. And it's also why Penn Badgley requested that they go so far in that final confrontation between Joe and Bronte. Penn Badgley wanted Joe to be dead in the minds of the audience. He wanted Joe to be as monstrous as he is in the books. I do feel that the combining of both of these angles is why the show just petered out, because the Joe that they had been setting up is not the Joe that they finished with, in a bad way. The character development was very sloppy and kind of came out of nowhere, because it, again, wasn't the character they had set up with the backstory elements that they had changed. And I personally would have just preferred if they had picked one or the other, preferably picking Penn Badgley's version, but also without that weird part of season 4 in which Joe suddenly has dissociative identity disorder. Like, what the fuck was that? And they dropped that plot line so fast.